Okay, finally our last question here, and again it's very predictable in that you normally get to create a report often based on a query like the previous question, and they often give you an existing report and they ask you to make some changes to it. So it's rep change. So I'm going to get to rep change. There it is over there. There's an extract from rep change, and you can see it's got sales and provinces and annual and all those type of things that we've been seeing throughout this question. Right, I'm going to go into design view because we're going to need to make some queries. And again, just a reminder, the different sections, the report header is what appears at the top of the very first page only. Okay, top of the first page only, and the report footer appears in the report footer goes at the bottom of the very last page only. Okay, and the page footer every page, and the page header every page, obviously top and bottom, and the details, these are the actual bits of data that will be displayed in each line. Right, what are they asking us to do? Add page numbering to appear at the bottom of each page in the report. Okay, so what it's got to do, it's going to have to go into the page footer. Okay, because it's at the bottom of each page of the report. Let's scroll up and see if there's anything straightforward here. Normally there is. There's page numbers. They don't specify a format. I'm going to go for that page N of M. That's pretty traditional. Either the top of the page or the bottom of the page. You can choose bottom of the page. I can choose alignment. I'm going to align it on the left just for fun. You can choose where you want to show the number on the first page. They don't say. So I'm just going to say OK. And if you want to go and check, that should have done it, sorted itself out. But if you go and check, it should be at the bottom of each page, and you can scroll through and have a look at the bottom of each page, and then we see the page number appearing there, page 101. Okay, so that was quite painless to go and do, and I'm going to have a look at my next question. Add your name in an appropriate control. Okay, so we'll talk about what appropriate means in a second. So it appears at the top of the first page of the report. Okay, top of the first page of the report. Okay, not the alarm bells are going off, but warning signs are going off to say, right, top of the first page of the report is my report header. Okay, so I'm just going to open it up here because I see it's been closed off a little bit, drag it down, and now we can talk about what do we mean by an appropriate control. Okay, I'm going to go to design, I'm going to have a look at my controls that I've got. You might be tempted to say text box. Okay, but text box in Access is used for formulas, so we use the label control, and you add your name. Your name happens to be I'm the greatest. No, that doesn't make sense, but anyway, I'm the greatest. Okay, I'm the greatest with bad spelling. Greatest. Okay. Right, and put your name and surname in that. Don't be clever like I was, just put your name and surname in there. What else have we got here? So those are 4 marks. Wow, this is easy peasy stuff. Add the image. This is another easy peasy. Add the image sales so it appears on the last page of the report only. Okay, already we've gone through that. The report header appears at the top of the first page only. The report footer is what appears. What's in the report footer appears at the bottom of the last page only. So this has got to go into the bottom of the report, so it's got to go into the report footer, and it's the image called sales. So it's got to go in the report footer, so I'm just going to open up my report footer because it looks as if it's closed off a little bit there. Okay, you can just drag it down, so don't freak if you can't see it at first. I'm going to go and insert an image, and I'm going to browse. Okay, you would go to your data folder that you've been given your data. I'm going to have to quickly go and see where I put my data. Right, here was a nice little curveball that flattened me a little bit. I know my image sales is in here, but I can't see it when I go here. Then I had a look here and it said web, and it said BMP, and in fact it's actually a JPEG file. So when you have something like that, just go and change it to all files. Okay, and you know it's called sales. So I'm going to click on name and scroll down and look for sales. There's sales, it's a JPEG image. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. Okay, and where I'm going to insert it, I'm going to insert it in the report footer because it must be at the end of the page. Okay, it must be at the bottom of the report, so sales has gone in there, so it'll appear at the very bottom. I'm going to move it across to the side, I think. And again, if you needed to change properties, you would just right click and do some property changes there. So that's 6 very easy marks so far in this particular question. Right, add a function to show the total number of sales. Okay, so I'm going to have to add a text box, total number, so I'm thinking sum, made by all the personnel. Okay, if the function is referring to all the records in the report, then your calculation is going to be in the report footer. Okay, so, and we'll see why we have to think about that when we look at the next question. So the total number of sales, okay, so there's a sales field. So what I'm going to do here is put in a text box, because that's how we do calculations in Access. And I'm going to make that over there, and I'm going to just move it a little bit over here so you can see. And I'm going to call this total sales, Okay, and as we said earlier, it's similar to Excel in that it's sum and max and count, with the exception that average is AVG. But I just want sum here. Okay, it doesn't have to be capitals. I'm just putting it there for emphasis. Square brackets and the name of the field, sales. Square brackets and close your round brackets, and I can go ahead and preview that and go and check the end of my report. Okay, and what have I got going here in my report? Okay, there's the bottom of my report. As you can see, I work on Sundays. Paid, as most teachers do. There's page 1 of 1. That's my page numbering. There's my image. There's only one page. That's why it's you don't have. It's just got the one page. And there's my total sales. In other words, it's added all of those up there. Right, that was not too stressful, but the important part was that it was because it applied to every single record. They wanted to get the total of all of them. It went in the bottom of the report. It made sense. Now let's just see where there's a variation on this. They say, right, change the report as needed to show the number of personnel in each province. Okay, this is the slightly tricky one. Right. Let's do it the wrong way first, and then we'll see why we're doing it incorrectly. Okay, the way that we would, if we wanted to know the total number of people in this report, then what I would do is I would add in another calculation over here. I would add in a text box, control over here, move it across, and I'd say, right, number of records or number of people or whatever you want to call it. Let's call it records equals, and I can use the count function. Okay, remember the difference between sum and count. Sum means adding, count means when you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So okay, so you would use the sum if you were adding up money, but if you were counting how many people there are, you would use the count function, or how many records there are equals count. Right, now which field do I use? Well, you could use any choice of field. So easiest would probably be to use the shortest one, which would be sales. The other way you could do it, if you want to remember this one, is you could just say star. Okay, which means count everything. Okay, so you see star comes up quite a bit, meaning anything, any or everything. So remember that we're doing this wrong. This is the total. In fact, this is going to give us the total number of records in the report, which is not what the question was asking. But even if you did it this way, you would at least get marks for putting the correct function in. So let's just go and check what's happened with that. I'll go to the end of my report. I should have 2 calculations now. I've got 23 people in the. Now let's go and see what they actually wanted. What they actually wanted was to show the number of personnel in each province. Okay, now just as earlier when you had to base a report on a query, the alarm bells would go off when you didn't have to include all the records. This alarm bell should go off here when you say, right, it's per province, or it's for each group, or per gender, or for each city, or whatever it is. Means there needs to be some type of grouping going on, because at the moment these provinces are all academic. So I'm going to have to group them together somehow first, or before I do anything else. So I'm going to go into my report and say, right, where's grouping? If you can't find it, it'll be at the top of your, can't find it down here, you'll find it on the toolbar at the top. I want to add a group, and I want to group it by province. Now note what happens in the report. suddenly there's this province header that pops in over here. Okay, that's an interesting thing. So let's go and see what is actually done to in the data view to my report. Okay, it's actually listed, it's now sorted them out into different types of provinces, that's not a bad start. Now what happens is if I take this exact same calculation that I used earlier, remember we put it in the report footer, I'm going to take that exact same calculation. I'm not going to change it in any way, and I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to put it in the province section. I'm going to put it in the province section. Okay, and just to prove that just to prove to you that I'm not trying to cheat or anything, I'm going to put it in a different color so you can see that one will be in red and the one down here will be in blue. Let's just see the difference in terms of, so same calculation in different sections. The one is in the report footer, which means it applies to all the records. So total number of records in the report. Yeah, I grouped first and I put it in the group section. Now depending on what you're grouping by, if I group by province in this case, that's the group, that would obviously be the group section. It could be gender, it could be surname, not likely, but it could be anything else. Right. Well, let's go and see. Okay. There you can see the red one I've got here. So there's one person in the Eastern Cape, there are two people in the Free State. Okay, in other words, ahead of each section, it's telling me, or not so much a section, but each group, it's telling me how many there are. So there were 3 in Gauteng, there are 3 in KwaZulu-Natal. Not sure why that one didn't come through there. We'll have a look to see why that didn't do that now. And we go right, oh there, that's just updating. Took a while to update. Okay, and we go through and we go to the bottom. There's still my total number of records, 23 in total. So if I add up each of the provinces and I go to them all, sorry, it's still updating some of the provinces there, I add them all up, it'll come to 23. Okay, so what I did here was, because it had to be per group, okay, so it doesn't go into the report, only goes in the bottom if it's for everybody. So in fact that's not the correct one, so I'm taking it out. The total sales was correct because they wanted that for everyone, but this group section over here I added by adding a group, and then I put the exact same function in the group. So how do I know? First of all, I decide, does it apply to everyone? If it says for everyone in the report, put it down in the report footer. If it says per group or for each city or whatever, something that implies that that's in clumps or in groups, then you first of all group if it hasn't been grouped already for you, and then you just go and put the exact same function that you would have used in a report footer, you go to use it in the header section. Okay, and you can obviously do various things here. You can add, you can sort as well once you've added that. There are all sorts of other options as well. You can even change it to a footer section for the province as well if you want to. If they suddenly wanted, in other words, if they wanted the totals after each section, you can sort them alphabetically, all sorts of options that you can add. Okay, with title, whatever you need to go, anything that you need here. Without the footer section at the moment, you could change that to with the footer section, whatever you need. It wasn't required in this case. So the grouping opened up a little space after, first of all, got them all grouped, and then opened up a little space for the province header, and in I zapped my calculation. And that's it.